Now we will come to that story of rat.
The rat.
It was in Sannadhi Street veranda, that small veranda. Some of you would have seen that. And I was sitting there. As usual, it put me in the corner next to the door. And there were other people around. That one lady had come with a carrier of food. And he opened that carrier. And in the top vessel, there were some vegetables. He did not open the other boxes, only the top one. And then he took, next to the wooden door in the veranda, there would be a stone step. Usually he would be seated there, or sometimes on the side. Now he put his hand and took some vegetables and then put it right on the stone step. No plate, nothing. The lady had brought a banana leaf, but she just didn't bother with that. He just took a handful of vegetables and put it right on the doorstep, which was full of dust. And then he started to eat. And now the door was a little open. A little mouse. It came out. It would come out drawn by the aroma of the vegetable, food, and then it would come near and then it would run away. It ran back inside. And then again it would come out and then run back. Several times. It was coming out and going in, coming out and going in. Because we were all seated there. And then at one point what happened, I don't know, maybe the grace of Bhagwan, or by itself it had gained courage now so many times. So it came straight to the vegetable, and then unafraid of Bhagwan, it started to eat that from that side. It had some coconut pieces as well. So the rat began to eat from that other side. There was a heap of the vegetable. The rat was eating from this side and he was sitting and eating from this side. It looked like a grand dinner. And they were seated across the table in a very posh restaurant. Just imagine a rat eating from that in just inches away. It would be normally very afraid and it would run back, and which is what it was doing all the time. But that particular time, it took courage and then came straight at it and started to eat. So this was eating from this side and Bhagwan was eating from this side with a smile. And then we were all watching. It was breathtaking. So I was watching, and then the one thought that came to me at that time, the mind being what it is, the thought was, the rat is eating, and whatever the rat eats, it's poison, they say. So the leftover would be poison. Suppose Bhagwan calls me and gives me that. This strange thought came into my mind, and then I was so scared. And suddenly Bhagwan looked up and looked at me, and then the rat, because of his movement, the rat immediately ran away from the place, and he put his hand right at the spot where the rat ate, and he said, "Devaki, come." He dropped it into my hand and said, "You eat it." So I had eaten all that, the leftover of a rat and the leftover of a worm and that the flesh and blood, the pus and blood of a wound, all that is gone. I'm very, very much a non-vegetarian. So that was it. He would eat the leftover of a dog. I had seen him feed the dog so lovingly, and then whatever is left there, he would put his hand into the mouth, and then he would take the next morsel of food, and then again, and then finally whatever is left, he would. Thank God I was not around at that time. I remember another time, there was one watchman by the name Kannan. He was the watchman, there used to be two watchmen for Sudama, and both would sleep only on the veranda. On one side of the veranda they would sleep, on the other side of the veranda Bhagwan would be sleeping and I would be sleeping right at his feet. So the four of us were there. And this watchman Kannan was very devoted to Bhagwan. He was a Telugu man. Telugu is another language. And he wrote lots of poems in Telugu on Bhagwan. And he kept inviting Bhagwan to his house, saying, Swami, please come sometime, come and visit our house. Bhagwan said, yes, yes, this beggar would come. And sometimes Bhagwan would make him sit and then sing those songs also. So one day, when we started towards the ashram, halfway, Bhagwan said, Ravi, let us go to Kannan's house now. So immediately we went straight to Kannan's house, searching for it. We found it was a garage where the cars would be parked. It was a small room, just enough to house a car, and that is where he was living. So when we opened, they did not expect. His wife was sleeping and suddenly she got up, and then Kannan, who was there in the ashram, he came running and then he joined his wife, and then they welcomed us, and Bhagwan was sitting there and I was sitting by his side. And then the woman was very nervous because she had nothing to give him except the previous day leftover rice which she had soaked in water. She said, I don't know what to do. She was looking at me, what to give, and shall I go buy some coffee from my shop at this? I said, no, Bhagwan has come here, don't go out. Whatever you have, you offer. And then Bhagwan said, what is it there? He pointed out a mud pot. He said, Swami, that is yesterday's leftover rice soaked in water. Oh, you please bring it to me. And then I found it was full of ants. And then I said, immediately I got it from her and I removed all the ants. And then Bhagwan said, don't throw it away. Throw away only the ants and give me the rest. So he just took it in hand and he started to eat. And then I said, Bhagwan, you can't eat the whole thing. Leave something for me also. So after taking most of it, he left a little for me, which I drank myself. And again, that was the leftover of the ants. So I had ant leftover, rats leftover, a worms leftover. Frog, okay. What happened once in Sudama?
This is the secret of your good health, is it?
What?
Is that the secret of your good health?
It could be, he always keeps us fit for his work. So what happened? I lived in a very small room. I used to come because I lived in Sandhya's place for 5 years, and then there came a time when I had to come out because there were too many visitors there, and I could not interact with them. I felt I needed a private place. So I looked for a house and I found a room just opposite to Sandhya's place. And I started to live in that room. Whenever I came to Tiruvannamalai, which was mostly the weekends, I would live in that room. And in that small room, I would cook something, either chapati and some sabji, or sometimes even rice and sambar. And then I would carry it all the way to Bhagwan's place, and Bhagwan would take it. So that day, after cooking, I turned, Vijayaka was there. She did the cooking that day, right? And I was helping her. And after that was over, when I was going to take some water to drink, I opened the water that she had been using for cooking. There was a frog inside. Very ugly frog.
Trick path. Keep going about the ugly frog.
Oh.
Boop is very interesting.
I'm thinking, no wonder COVID didn't bother you.
So, When I saw it, I was shocked. Now, I had a dilemma. What? We had used that water for cooking for Bhagwan. Now it was the leftover. The frog must have been jumping up and down, and so many resins from the body would have fallen into it. It was... I can't describe it to you, but all that was going on, racing through my mind. And then, so I decided, I had no idea, I could not kill that, whether I should take that food at all to Bhagwan. So in any case, I thought I would pack it up and then ask Bhagwan himself what to do about it. Left to myself, I would not have eaten that food. I would have only vomited. But then, it was Bhagwan's. We had already done it for Bhagwan, so it became Bhagwan's. So I had to ask him what to do about it. So we took it. You know what Bhagwan said? Devaki, was that frog alive or dead? Said it was very much alive. It was staring me in the face. Those two big eyes were staring me in the face. So it was alive? All right. Now then that's okay. You can give me the food. I will take it. If it was dead, we should not take that food, he said. Because in the river, in the well, there are so many frogs. We take that water and drink, In the river also, so many beings. And he said, as long as it was alive, it's okay, I will take that. So that was another incident. Then we went back and then we let out the frog and then we also took that water. Because once it becomes prasad, you have no choice. Your own feelings don't matter.
Yeah.